Everybody, it's Victor. It's another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance series. Happy Saturday, Mosh Pit. I hope your Saturdays are going off to a good start here. We did have another video across 3,000 likes, kicking off this very fun weekend with another like streak counter down below. Now only 5 away from the worst run of the Repentance Era redo. As a quick reminder, the voting will conclude tonight, but I do think that it's probably going to be 1068 now that it is running far and away from it from 757, unfortunately, for those of you who are waiting for a little bit of an older episode. So I don't think we're going to have to do a vote off, but you never know. Unless something massive happens, it's definitely going to be episode 1068. Here's your screenshot / story of the day submitted here by Zorvax Echo. Title of the thread was First Isaac Run, and then inside of the thread on the Sinvicta subreddit, they said, decided today was the day to try Isaac after watching Sinvicta for 6 years or so. This run was going insane with passive items, and I was in a situation where I had half of a black heart before the boss. Went into the boss challenge room to see if I could find any soul hearts or health upgrades, and there was placenta on the item pedestal. I unfortunately died to one of the peep's eyes, and I didn't notice. Looking forward to the rest of the runs. Hey, you know what? It's a first time for everything, and that is impressive that you even got that far on your very first Isaac run. So thank you very much, Zorvax, for being a part of the Mosh Pit for so long, and hopefully you learned something. You got to keep us posted with some progression updates. See you today is going to be Juliet Yankee, Golf Bravo, Mike, Quebec, Victor, Delta. We've got Mom's Key of a start. Just god-awful tears rate and the D8. And I made it much worse. I mean, whenever we're starting with just like a terrible amount of tears, it almost feels like you just don't have anything to lose at that point. 1.93 down to 1.71 is like whatever, you know? Like we already are on a bad foot here. There was a time a long time ago in the before times of Repentance where it seemed like the D8 was unstoppable in terms of like one of the best active items that you can get in the game, because you could just choose what type of stats you wanted. If you wanted to have a lot of movement speed, you could just stop on that. If you wanted to have a lot of damage, you could just stop on that. It really did feel like a sort of like almost like a cheat code almost, where you would be able to pick and choose which stat upgrade you want and then just stick with that run, and then, you know, Bob's your uncle. Now, however, with the way that Repentance feels anyway with the D8, it always seems to give you negatives whenever you're talking about the tears rate or damage. It never at one time does it ever feel like you have full control over, not control, but you have full luck over what type of stats you get for the upgrades. Playing it definitely fast and loose here. Big old bomb here for Mom's Key. We'll take that. Might be able to bomb our way out here, actually. And we are. And we get that soul heart back. I probably could have saved that, and I should have saved that until after we're done with the room here, but okay, well, we have one more bomb. I'm gonna take a big risk and go for the chest first, since we do have Mom's Key, and it was not going to pay off for it. All right. Got a little greedy, but I figured with Mom's Key, surely we'll get like a bunch of bombs or something out of that, right? Right? Didn't happen. As you can see, our movement speed is actually insane right now with 2.0. It far away, like we can outrun our shots right now. Like, yeah. Little Steven's not going to cut it, but we may end up picking him up. There is a half-price soul heart, which I am going to have. Just want to see what's in this tinted rock right now. Okay, 2 soul hearts, so we don't have to buy one of the soul hearts from the shop. Normally I'd be worried about this room here, unless they do that, of course. I don't know what that little stutter step was, but so we gained a lot of damage, but we gained 0.08 or 0.08 tears, so our damage is good, though. I will admit it is quite okay, but you know, the use limit on the D8, it runs out after you get the first real stat up, right? Because you don't want to nuke it, especially if it's like a tears up or something like that. But don't worry about that, because it's going to be an orbital. It seems like legit. I don't know why, but it feels like in the last 5 episodes we've gotten the first 4 famine, and I don't know if that's just recency bias or what, but it definitely feels like famine. I said this yesterday too, that famine has just shown up constantly. So we need to be very careful here because we're only on 1 HP as well, and our shot speed is so bad. Not shot speed, sorry, our range is so bad. Our shot speed is actually fine right now. Little Invisa shot right there. We have over 5 damage, almost 5.5 damage, so this range sucks. But at least we know that we have hearts on the floor. We have soul hearts here. We got the mobility to deal with famine. It's just the lack of range just kind of stinks, but no, he's not going to kill us or anything. Never, 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 never. All right, so we got our orbital. Let's go all the way back around here and grab these soul hearts. And I suppose I'll take Little Steven just to have a little bit of extra damage, because right now our DPS is going to suffer greatly. So at least we have a second shot here. Even though the shot isn't going to do much, it's still a second volley of shots that we can use for damage, obviously. But the only thing with Little Steven you have to be careful with, obviously, is him firing at something that is running after Isaac, and it actually propels them forward. But that's clown physics for you. We're going to last week's question of the episode here. This one was sent in by Scrabble the Mite from the Teleport Meta is So Good episode, which people really loved the thumbnail on that one, which was Nightcrawler. That was all Alex. I wouldn't expect him to go with Nightcrawler on that, but a lot of people really enjoyed that he did. Scrabble the Mite says, hang on one second. Be careful of these off shot. And yeah, you see what I'm talking about right there with those shots curving back around Little Steven that can be very problematic. See, this is what I'm kind of talking about. It just, for some reason, the D8 feels like it always just goes to speed and then never hits your tiers again. The question was, question Forever Wishes, what is your most controversial take on an item in Isaac? So I think that the most, I don't know what my most controversial take is. Some people argue that everything I say is controversial in terms of like my likes and dislikes for Isaac. I would disagree with that, but you know, whatever. I think that the take that got me the most raised eyebrows was the fact that I would say, you know, no pills, I think is the biggest one. Now, if we're talking about an actual item, and the items, like I have to give what is considered a bad take on the item. I mean, people still get upset about Trisagion, as you all saw. I would never change on Trisagion. Hey, there we go. There we go. I don't want to say never, because I mean everyone should have the capacity to change in some way. So I won't say never. And I do recall, before anyone says anything, I do recall that there was a time where I said Trisagion was out of the doghouse because it did save us on one run. It's not that Trisagion is like the worst item in the game. It's far from it. Far from it. I just, my distaste for it is overblown, partial by meme, just because of the infamous. It doesn't make you deal, or it's not a damage down. It just makes you deal less damage. Okay. I don't want to get rid of these soul hearts. Are these going to go off of the bone hearts or the soul hearts? Should go off the bone hearts first. Yeah. Okay, so let's. I want to get to a capped tears rate first. There we go. So brittle bones is actually S tier here. I do not want to. I am going to lose all the bones here on this floor just because I'm going to cash in all the tears rate upgrades. But we need to at least have 1 or 2 for the Devil Deal. Yeah, it's partial meme from the, it's not a damage down, it makes you deal less damage. Infamous quote now from many years ago. And also legitimate like distaste for the item. I don't like Trisagion because it makes your run go from you're hitting strong, you're hitting hard and fast, to you're hitting with a Whipple Bat, essentially. Take the screw here to raise our tier stat even more, and oh my goodness, look at this. Yeah. So I am going to bomb myself twice here because there's no reason for us to try to save this bone heart right now. And then what we do is we take 9 lives, then we take Jello and die. But yeah, this is a banger of a start now. And Brittle Bones really came in at the right time here. Yeah, well, you can already see the difference. You can feel the difference in this run. So yeah, Trisagion was always one of the ones that I got a lot of flack for. Another one that I got flack for was definitely the my love of Brimstone. People do feel that Brimstone is a very boring item, and I can see why. But it was more along the lines of because I don't like Brimstone, but I do like I do like Brimstone, and I don't like Epic Fetus or Dr. Fetus, which many people perceive as a very one-dimensional item as well. I did that on purpose so we could spawn outside the curse room. Otherwise, we would have to go back in and back out again, which is going to cost us another life, which I don't want. We have one more bomb. And we get nickel. I'm okay with that. The car battery is going to give us 2 Jellos at once, which is very, very nice. Now, obviously, 9 lives is a almost surefire run winner, but we'll see. Just some other items that bring a little bit of groaning out of the mosh pit. Anytime I get Mercurius or anytime I get card reading, Binge Eater is obviously probably one of the more controversial ones as well. How much I just adore that item, and people think it's the ultimate just like turn off the run video item, and I don't care. If we need Binge Eater, like if we get Binge Eater on this run, we're taking Binge Eater. And I hardly ever adjust what I do in game just because some people are going to get bent out of shape over me taking it. And my argument to all that is like, it's an item in the game, dude. Like, you may not like it and that's fine, but it's not like it's being modded into the game and just for trolling or whatever. It's literally an item in the game. So I don't know what the argument is. There are some people who would love to have really, really, really long Isaac videos, and there's some other people that appreciate the fact that, you know, some videos are long, some videos are short. Wow, that almost hit us. I didn't think it was going to make it through that crack, but it almost did. And Binge Eater certainly makes for a very, I don't want to say slow run. I mean, it's slow in a different way, but, you know, it's people just want to see, like, variety. They want to see Zane. They want to see all that stuff, and over the years I imagine that people who are still sticking around the mosh pit are the ones who you know what you're getting. You know, you're just getting raw runs, and whatever happens. Sometimes we have short runs, sometimes we have long runs, sometimes I'm a little bit too tired to do like a try for an Omega run or anything like that. So that's how it is. There's no editing here. Now the shorts are a different story. We put a lot of editing in those shorts, and they've been doing very well. So thank you all very much for the support on the YouTube shorts and TikToks as well. If you come over from TikTok, I'm going to go all the way back to see if we can get a full charge here on Jello. We should try to find the store as well. We're a little bit behind on our time here. The room's right, meow. I'm gonna bomb the keeper up here just so we have a little bit better chance for Devil Deal, which may lead us to a Guppy item. The Jello Maul, all the hosts, champion host. Yep, That's another item that is controversial around these parts, is because I say I don't like Voodoo Head and people lose their mind. They lose their mind even more when I just like look at the item and then just back out without saying anything. Quite funny. Use the Empress card here to try to make it through Mega Mall without taking any damage. That's some good damage. If we can just get a damage upgrade like that, that's going to be beautiful. But we got an HP, so. All right, 68%. Certainly doable. We need some damage, though. Thought it was there. That's the reason why I didn't put that bomb down, though, is I'm pretty sure it was there. I am going to blow up this Keeper just to have the increase to 73%, the cursed number I know and love. Thank you. I don't know what it's been with me lately, but I've really been on I want to play some D&D, be in a fantasy world, go to like the Renfest and stuff like that. Like that, the Renaissance Festival, the one we have down here is pretty infamous for being one of the biggest and one of the best. And I'm lucky that I get to go to that every single year. And there's something, I don't know, I may be a dork for saying this, but I love the fanfare and just being around people who are just like in the spirit of things. You know, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas, but like for nerds. That's what the Renaissance Festival is like. And I really just dig the fact that so many people get into it and dress up, and you know, they try to role play with like dorky accents, that sort of stuff. But I like it. It's a very endearing sort of like, I don't know, just comforting feeling. Baby, look at that. Keeper sack. Yeah. I'll take you as well. Big time Keeper sack pickup here. That's exactly what we need to get some damage. We have this Justice card, which I'm going to use in the Devil Deal. Just feeling fancy. Also get ourselves Bloody Gust. Oh man. Almost screwed me out of a Devil Deal right there. Once again, the game put us in the direction that we did not enter in from. Mr. Dolly. Here's goes up to 1.17. Now, unfortunately, it is going to drop back down because of Death's Touch, but definitely a worthwhile sacrifice. It might also just be because, like, I just finished season 2 of Game of Thrones. Oh wow, look at that. We get ourselves, we get that Tears Up right back up, and Bloody Gust is going to make it look even more powerful there. But thanks to Brittle Bones, it's any time that you get a Bone Heart and you break it, you get a Tears Up, a permanent Tears Up that goes over the cap, and it's wonderful. I just finished season 2, House of the Dragon, and it was. I was a little bit bummed because I felt like they were leaving it unfinished without getting spoiled. Without getting too spoilery, that's what I'll say. Season 2 just felt like it's like, but you're not even gonna do this thing that the whole season's been like kind of leading up to. Come on, man. Like, that's what got people kind of ticked off at the first Game of Thrones, the main series, and man, we all know how that one ended. Yeah, double coupon is great, especially with car battery. But I like having Jello, especially with Death's Touch and with this damage here. Although I should have bought it just because we had keeper sack, but it's too late now. We got a boss rush to go miss. Go ahead and take the HP here. Gonna need it for our devil deal. Using one bomb to kind of save us a little bit of time here. A weird spot for the secret room. We get the Steam sale, which is not going to help us out at all, but I say that only because I know that we're going to get a greed fight in the next store. But the reason why I'm also hurrying is because we do have a fool card, so sisters. This had a little bit of problem. We get another bone heart, brother. All right, so all I gotta do is find mom here. I don't know why I went on that tangent. It's like for our we have game night every Wednesday, and the group that I'm in has a dedicated D&D night that they've been doing for like 8 years or something like that. I'm like, man, I really want to get in on that, but obviously they don't just let newbies in. And not that I'm like a total newbie, but like there's a lot of nuances in D&D that I just don't know just because I don't play the game. And I've done D&D campaigns before, you know, and I've had fun and stuff like that, but it's not a game that I would say that I'm like super well versed in. Like I don't know, you know, there's these big manual handbooks that you got to read, and you got to know your classes and know the stats of this and that. And I'm not big into reading. I'm big into doing. We'll come back and get that. We're just trying to find the daggum. The god dang boss. It's gonna be a dead end too, isn't it? Gotta hurry here. We don't have a lot of movement speed, which is ironic considering that we had 2.0 movement speed at one point. There's just something about this, hearing the medieval music, like the lutes and everything, and seeing everyone dressed up and talking in a fake English accent. That it just brings out the life in me, you know? That's one thing that I loved, and one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy XI, which is a game that I played for a very long time, was that I would get that high fantasy feeling that wasn't like Tolkien-esque and had Final Fantasy stuff like dragoons and knights and that sort of stuff. And that's what I loved about that game. That and the music was also fantastic in Final Fantasy XI. Ah, I forgot to use the mystery gift. Oh my god. Well, this is our damage, or this is our tears rate with Polyphemus, so yeah. Yeah. Now we can use the mystery gift inside of Cursed Room, which is what I'm going to do. HP upgrade, because we're looking for another Devil Deal item, and technically we got a Devil Deal item. And remember, our tears rate is also being augmented by Bloody Gust too, so it's a little bit misleading on what we've got right now. We go back and get Jello. Not Curse the Maze. Where'd those two nickels go? I feel very happy whenever I just, you know, I'm surrounded by that sort of nerdum stuff. That's the reason why I like hanging out at not hanging out like all the time, but like going to game shops and just like listening to the Magic players and the Pokemon players and stuff. It's, you know, and Lorcana kind of gives you the same vibe as well. It's just nerds being nerds, and it's great. But I love that about Final Fantasy XI. Like, that was one of my favorite things, is to just go out in the forest. I forget the name of the forest, but go out there and just absolutely just be immersed in a high fantasy medieval area. It was a lot of fun. Here's got to be there. Yes, technically I could have used the mystery gift in the secret room. Wasn't really thinking about that. More thinking about trying to just get Guppy. That'd be nice. Secret room might be here. Come for another bone heart. Fine. No, I'm trying game. I'm lucky that I found a gaming group that is they are good people. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, you know. Like for example, just to show you how how lucky I was to find good people who are willing to, you know, to invite you part of the gaming group. The lady who owns well, it's her, obviously it's her husband and her wife. She makes us dinner every Wednesday when we go for gaming night. And she overheard, I didn't even tell her this really directly, but she overheard me talking to somebody else who's part of this group that I can't eat white onions and garlic anymore. Like it gives me too many problems digestively. And that was all. I didn't say this to her directly. And every single time that I go over there, she cooks a special side version of whatever she's making for dinner that night. And she makes sure that there's no onions and garlic in it. Like, it's that level of special that I didn't know still like kind of existed out there. But I was like, man, I almost feel guilty because like I didn't ask for this, but man, that is like, it's really very, very, very thoughtful. And that's the kind of stuff that just kind of sticks with you. And she's a mom too, so she's got like that motherly intuition when it comes to taking care of people. And I mean, that's honestly exactly the same thing that Mama Victa would do. She's very, very in tune with listening to people, and just wants to, you know, take care of everyone, make everyone happy. That's moms for you. You saw the moms that I know, anyway. It's a good time. I was just feeling very fortunate and I was very at ease tonight for our gaming night. Nice to be able to get out of the house and just go do, something that isn't work related, isn't YouTube related, or being around a computer, or, you know, just having fun with friends and making new friends and stuff too. But then at the same time, it's a big juxtaposition of what I normally would be doing on Wednesdays, which is streaming and, you know, just doing basically what I'm doing right now. So I think that's another reason why it does feel kind of different this time around, just because I am no longer kind of chained to the computer for the evening. I will say that obviously, I mean, work never stops. You know, Isaac is still #1 priority for me, making sure that I'm getting out content. Obviously, I've started posting out some new videos on the gaming channel, like I was talking about this week, where I essentially had to because YouTube was going to stop the AdSense partnership. I don't want that to happen. Main reason is not because that channel makes like a ton of money, which it doesn't. I think it made $100 in like the last 2 months, I think, something like that. But it does. What I'm paranoid about is it having a negative impact on the main channel. It's like, oh well, he let one ad revenue partnership kind of decay, so that may hurt us. Or that may hurt this channel in the algorithm's point of view. And that, like, I hate having to kind of just guess and wonder with this job about like where, like what's going to hurt what, in terms of the algorithm, like, you know, because everyone works for money, and that's this job as well. But that's just one of the many fun things you get to think about. I don't worry too much about stuff. I'm not a worrier. I'm a reactor, if anything. Like, I just kind of see what happens and then try to take reasonable and logical solutions to new problems that may arise. That's how I've always been. I don't like planning. I'm not a big planner. I like to make plans, like to plan for, like, hey, like let's do this weekend, or hey, this, you know, what about tomorrow? Could we go to dinner or something like that? But as far as like life plans are concerned, like I never planned on being a YouTuber. I didn't know what I was going to do in this life. I had no clue. I had no sense of what my calling was. And I don't know if this is really truly my calling, but it is something that I've been doing for the last, what, 14 years now, 13 years. I have been doing it for quite a while. It's definitely the most fun thing that I've ever done. By far was doing this job. It still is. I mean, there's zero complaints. So I feel so fortunate to not only have made the friends I have through gaming and stuff, but also, of course, met all of you in the mosh pit. Which is why I try to strive to give a different experience for people than what you normally find on YouTube here. I try to make it fun, try to just make it different. I mean, anyone can turn on Isaac and record their audio and, you know, edit stuff down and to make things look more crazy, or give them like the coolest run ever. You know, like anyone can do that. You have the know-how to. For my videos, I more pride myself on just giving just straight up, just raw commentary, raw video, and keeping people interested enough to be not only interested in Isaac and the gameplay and the lessons that I try to teach, but also, of course, just, you know, it's nice to vent. It's nice to just let people kind of get to know you a little bit. Nothing crazy, of course, because there has to be limits, but I think that a lot of you who've been around here long enough, you pretty much know me. I'm not any different in real life than I am on the microphone. You know, the only thing that gets played up a little bit is the sort of the more animated responses whenever I'm streaming or whenever I'm recording for YouTube, but because I'm not that animated in real life. But everything else in terms of my personality and just how I treat things and my outlook on stuff is literally 1-to-1. I've told people many times I'm not a good actor. I don't hide my sleeve, or I don't hide my feelings very well. Like, I wear it on my sleeve constantly. Sometimes to my detriment, obviously. If things aren't going right, I'm going to tell you about it. And I was talking about this on stream earlier last week, where I don't remember who it was. I really wish I could find that comment, but somebody said, it was in that community post I made where I was kind of just venting at it was like 4:10 in the morning or something. I made a very long post just because it was in June, because obviously June was just not going the way that I wanted. It was turning people off to the videos because I felt myself losing myself in a negativity spiral. And it was affecting people and their enjoyability of the videos too. But someone said something that opened my eyes to a different aspect that I never ever considered. And that person said, one thing that I can appreciate about your videos above other people who do Isaac, or just YouTubers in general, is that you don't, there's no moderation in terms of negative versus positive. It's not all edited to look like you've got the greatest runs of all time. You know, you actually show the bad parts, like the bad runs, the bad instances and circumstances, And that's very rare these days on YouTube, to show something that doesn't go right, or that something that isn't always positive, even on a toxic level of positivity, which is very rampant on YouTube. How we do a victory lap? My God, you okay there, Cello? Second seed is gonna be Jibbo Ziggs 2. And it was a little bit eye-opening and a little bit sad to hear that YouTube has become a place where people don't share their genuine selves. People don't share genuine experience. They feel they have to edit it. They have to Instagram it up to where make it look like they have this really, really awesome life. And in reality, it's just fake. It's just all not real. And it's sad because I remember a time when YouTube was the hip new. That was the place that you went to express yourself. Like, you are the star. It was all about you. And now, with the way that everything is, it feels more along the lines of you are the product, you are the brand, you have to do this and this and this and this and this and this. And this has been the problem that YouTube has been spiraling towards for the last, I would say 7 years or so, maybe 6 years. Really, when MCNs became so prevalent in the culture of YouTube, that's when things really started to kind of take a little more corporate turn. I want to get rid of this bone heart so we get a tears upgrade, so. We can just do a full shuffle. That's fine with me. And boy, howdy. What a draw. But that really did kind of open my eyes to the idea that, it is so rampant with how just overly positive everything has to be on YouTube. For someone to say your channel is a breath of fresh air, the fact that you do have the complaints, you do have the real raw reactions to things that video game is doing in a negative light, and that's refreshing. And I was like, man, that is a based take right there, but this is the truth. I never really thought about it that way. And it's that kind of stuff that makes me show that even if we're having an overly complainy day, and I try to catch myself on that when things are really going crap side up. But it's that kind of feedback that makes me sort of realize that not everything I do when it's going bad is necessarily detrimental to a video, because people enjoy the realness of the commentary, the realness of the takes, and that's something that you don't hear too often about. I should have bought that school bag. Very rant-heavy episode today. Obviously, we don't have much to really talk about in-game. I mean, we're absolutely, just molly-whopping everything that we come across here. I mean, it ain't even close, y'all. And freezer, baby. Ansas, we'll go ahead and take. Real question is, are we going to get Guppy? Real answer is absolutely not. Do get a Thame, though, which I will absolutely take, absolutely. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you for those of you who have stuck with me thick and thin throughout the years. I've said it on stream before, but I feel like if I was some kind of scumbag, people would have probably not stuck around for as long as they have, and I feel good about that too. Ooh. Love shoot, but I'd pass on that. You're gonna give us another Brittle Bones? Getting another brittle bones, brother. I have no idea how many brittle bones we have, but you can bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna be cashing this in. I think it's gonna be 6, right? That should be it, I believe. Again, this is with Polyphemus, keep in mind. 9 volt, I'll go ahead and take that. Remember, we also have Keeper Sack, so we are very interested in, very, very, very interested in buying everything we can. A school bag. Fortunately, though, wait, was this? No, this wasn't the floor that we had. That crawl space. It was the last floor, I think. I don't know if that's actually giving us any HP, but was this the floor that had the crawl space? It was not. Been ranting so much, I figured it's probably I'll get lost in memory. Oh yeah, we'll take 41 keys. You know, you never know how often you're gonna need them. Athame going insane despite us having negative luck. Because there's one thing that is universally true in Isaac is that no one knows what luck rating does, including the developers. And even they guess as to what luck does. It has an effect on. That's you know you're in for a good time. See, this is the reason why I don't like Pokego, is because this fatty baddie is just firing at us constantly. And it's one of the things that you just can't have in this game, is things making you think that you're being under attack when you're really not. What I'm trying to say is, fatty baddie, you can just you can go off and die, and that would be cool. I wouldn't stop you if you just feel like having a permanent vacation. There's a lot of troll bombs. I cannot believe how fortunate our luck has been with these chests, and also with these drops here. Lucky for us, we got another fat back. Can I run you into a fire? And here, you come over here. Yeah. Cookie in that fire. Our tears rate at a base level is, I think, it's 7. I don't remember if we've been hit on this floor yet. Oh my gosh, we got a this. Okay. Finally get some movement speed. We do also get another bone heart. You know we're playing Sanguimon here. I don't know how much of this is going to be permanent. I don't really care. There's fire there. I also have old bandage, so you know that we're going to be able to hopefully get a couple more procs here. Soul. And I don't know how much of this is actually giving us benefit here. We could take Heartbreak as well, but instead I'm going to go for Whore Babylon. I would like some mapping though. Yeah, so our base damage is 31.05. Our base tears rate is 7.29. This is after Polyphemus. If we didn't have Polyphemus, our tears rate would be more like 10 or 11. Which is just bonkers. And the rock right there. Again, the real fun thing is trying to figure out if we're going to get Guppy or not. And I hate to spoil you, but I would take the under on that in terms of odds. I'm going to go in the curse room. There's just no reason for it. I mean, there is a reason for it to try to get Guppy, obviously, but we wouldn't be able to have any protection for our Devil Deal here. First, Bomb Transformation. Diamond. Dull Azerade. Not going to use that. The reason why I did that was obviously so we can free up the full charge and then buy it out of the shop for Keeper's Sack. Now with 3 swords, we can go into the curse room and sub 1. Oh wow! Actually, didn't take any damage there from something. We don't have Conehead, so I'm not sure how we didn't take damage there. Whatever. A Goat Head, which is nice. Two Soul Hearts there. Let's leave here with 1 Soul Heart, that's fine. We're not going to take Let Me Get Down because it's just not a good item. Might be another hot take there, but fine. Might be a little bit of a hot take that I think that Let Me Get Down is not a good item. I wouldn't say it's straight trash. It's not like Firemind or something, but it's definitely not phenomenal. Like, it's great if you get the item that you want from the Wisp and then you can protect it. Hey, I'm happy for you. But most times you're getting an item that's going to be like Guppy's or Isaac's Heart or Firemind or something like that that's going to end up hurting you. And then the Wisps are surprisingly, unsurprisingly, very hard to get rid of when you don't want them. But when you do want them, it's like every single enemy shot just domes it from a mile away. Battery pack. I'm gonna be lazy. I'm not gonna look for the item room. I'll take this wild card though, as it allows us to use whatever we did last time. Again, something special. Yeah. Lusty Blood's fine, but I want a Guppy item. We got it, baby. I don't remember the last thing that we used. Oh, it's Jello. That's what it is. Information mod tells you exactly what you get. Guppy, which is going to give us flying, and also, of course, give us the mulligan effect. Very strong. Very, very good. Always good. Always the best. We get Lusty Blood, which is going to make us deal even more damage, which is, at this point, kind of absurd. Yeah, I don't think that we're on the new tag yet. That would be kind of unprecedented for us to do that in in the same week, I think. Kind of unheard of, but this run's pretty dang strong, y'all. This run's kind of strong. Another tiers upgrade here, thanks to the wire coat hanger. Again, remember all the tiers up that we had previously gotten was before we adjusted ourselves with E8 earlier. And on top of all that, we also, of course, had Brittle Bones. And even though we did have to wait for a second run for us to finally get Guppy with 2 Guppy items, it did actually occur. But the real carrier here is going to be a combination of Brittle Bones and then Keeper's Sack. God, blew up the whole world right there. Polyphemus is obviously a champion and a half. But At the same time, Polyphemus is not the end-all be-all when it comes to a main carry item. It's a stat booster. That's about the best thing I can say. Oh my. Best thing I can say about Polyphemus without seeming like it's overly negative. Backstabber, obviously. Eye of Belial, obviously. We're going down some. We're losing some lives here, but it was definitely worth it for us to get the taps on the Sanguine Bond pedestal. Honestly, give me 3 HP. I'll take that. Soul Converter is going to take soul hearts and just turn them into red hearts. It's the very opposite of what it used to do, but in a weird way anyway. We have 35 keys, so this Eternal Chest is going to give us something, or give us 1 trinket and nothing. That's fine too. Yeah, this is when we're killing the Mega Bonies in 1 hit, you know that we're strong. I don't know, man. I think this run might get a new tag. I don't think it's stronger than the last run that we used that on, though. This run is really, really powerful, though. Hard for me to say. Huh. Look how many vistas we have because nothing dies because we just stop them from hitting our vistas before anything can happen. Oh my god, we got Pisces too, another huge Tears Cat breaking Tears up. Champion Bloat, good luck. Haven't even used Jello in forever. Now, one positive thing I will say about PokeGo is that at least the mobs shoot on their own. Like, they do their own targeting. Like, they'll actively go out and they're dead. Let's get 9 lives again, go up to 14. It's fine. I mean, that was basically a 1 tap on a Bloat right there. Black Monstro is just going down in 1 hit too. It's mostly because of the pass-through damage with the Eye of Belial as well, and on top of that, you've got Backstabber. So it's a whole smorgasbord of good damage. So thank you for watching, everybody. Wow, what a powerhouse run that was. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you click the like button. Leave a comment down below. I know that today was rant heavy, but, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about because the run was just so dang good. Thank you all very much for those of you who casted your vote as well for the Repentance Run redo, which will be happening on this Wednesday coming up for Wacky Wednesday. Don't worry, we will also have an RPG mod episode running side by side with it as well, so stay tuned for that. The Eden runs will always be at the same time. If we end up doing the leveling series, or if I take up the streams and chop them up, those will be played after the Eden run, usually like 1 or 2 hours after. So again, thank you all very much for making it possible. Have a great weekend, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like these pages of mine like Nicholas Fernald, Emil Caban, and Flame God 310. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, make sure you check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find down below, or by going to patreon.com/Invicta.